Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. With less than 24 hours between game weeks this week, let's quickly see how my team's getting on in 33+, before then looking at my transfer plans and team lineup for game week 34. To be fair, there wasn't much to report from game week 33, with me getting a triple blank from Wolves at home to Arsenal, and also a 1-1 draw in the Sheffield United-Burnley game, a disaster result, with Henderson and Taylor on opposing sides both having their clean sheets wiped out. In fairness to Wolves, that was only their first defeat in 9 Premier League games. They've otherwise been very solid defensively, keeping 4 clean sheets on the bounce prior to facing Arsenal, and still have plenty to play for in the league. My concern with having a triple up though is that they aren't exactly firing on all cylinders attacking wise, and with them facing Sheffield United, Burnley and Palace in 3 of the next 4 games, all teams that are predominantly more defensively minded, I think having 3 of them may be overkill at this point, at least from an attacking point of view. With Adama Traore also being unreliable in terms of guaranteed minutes, I think his time in my side may now be up. There were 6 pointers all round for Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah and Marcus Rashford, and the superb Bruno Fernandes returned a massive 15-point haul for a second consecutive game week. I had stressed over the 50-50 choice on captaining either Fernandes or Mo Salah, but considering how poor Bournemouth looked heading into this game, fortunately I kept the armband on Bruno, a very rare captaincy haul for my side. So far, my team have produced 59 points in game week 33. Despite the big captaincy haul, I'm currently at an even lower rank than where I was in my last video. However, I actually started game week 33 at around 960k, so 59 points has given me a green arrow of 40,000 places. I still have 2 players to go, with Son and Calvert-Lewin set to face each other, and in my team, these 2 are some of the biggest differentials I have, therefore any returns from them should really help increase the green arrow further. Of course, with me sitting at 900k with only 5 game weeks to go, I am now resigned to having my worst ever FPL season, and I'm under no illusions that this season has been nothing short of a disaster. But all I can do now is try to remain positive and simply do what I can to make my score as respectable as possible for these last few weeks. Considering where I am now with 5 game weeks of the season remaining, if someone offered me a top 500k finish, I'd probably take it. And as things stand, I'm around 50 points behind that target. So let's move on now to game week 34+, and with 2 free transfers at my disposal, let's look at my potential transfers before the deadline. Also, if you enjoy the content here at FPL TV, then be sure to support the channel by dropping a like and most importantly getting subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. The plan for game week 34 was to now target some players from Manchester City who have a superb run of games to see out this season. With Newcastle at home up next, that looks to be a very tantalising fixture for City, and the 2 players that I wanted to bring in for this fixture were very conveniently rested in City's previous game against Southampton. So with my 2 free transfers, both Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden will very likely be coming into my side for game week 34. As for players going out, Adama Traore to Phil Foden seems like a very simple switch this week. As for funding Kevin De Bruyne, well, one of 2 players will need to make way, and that will either be Son Heung-min or Mo Salah. Initially, it was Son who I was set to sell, but considering he faces Bournemouth in game week 34, a team that have now conceded 9 goals in their last 2 games, it's very hard to sell the South Korean before that one. So, providing he doesn't get injured or suspended against Everton this evening, it's probably going to be Mo Salah leaving the team for De Bruyne. Liverpool haven't quite looked themselves since wrapping up the title, so I'm okay with losing Salah for now, especially considering I want to captain De Bruyne this week, making the transfer all the more important. Liverpool do have a home fixture against Burnley in game week 35 though, arguably one of the best fixtures for that week. So I haven't ruled out moving back to one of their attackers for that game. The plan is to give Son Heung-min the Bournemouth game, see how he plays, and then potentially move him back to Mane or Salah for that Burnley game, providing there's no other pressing issues in my team. So let's see how the team could line up for game week 34+. The defence isn't ideal this week, with my double up on Sheffield United not yet keeping a clean sheet since the restart. The positive news is that Jack O'Connell did return from injury in the previous game, so a big boost for them defensively. With me also having 2 Wolves players in this fixture, obviously and unideally there's a conflict of interest there, but whether it's a clean sheet for one of the teams, or maybe Raul Jimenez scoring, hopefully I can manage a few points from this game some way or another. With Mason Greenwood outshining Marcus Rashford for 2 consecutive game weeks now, it's certainly frustrating to be spending double the price on Rashford. In a perfect world, I'd love to downgrade Rashford now and free up a lot of cash along the way. But with my side currently having no Man City coverage, buying De Bruyne and Foden has to take priority this week. In defence of Rashford, he was very unlucky to have a second goal ruled out by a whisker due to VAR, and with United scoring so many goals at the moment, the points can easily be shared between the attackers every other game week. For example, if I was to make the straight swap, there's every chance that Rashford could end up scoring more next week. For a change, the captaincy this week does feel pretty straightforward. After consecutive 15-pointers, Bruno Fernandes is of course a fantastic option. But with De Bruyne having the home fixture and being rested before Newcastle, to me, I'm feeling very optimistic about giving him the captaincy this week. The brilliant Belgian is currently FPL's highest point scorer, and with us now being in game week 34, it's very hard to believe I've only captained him once this entire season. I've done plenty of overthinking this season, and not captaining De Bruyne more is one of the main reasons that I've had such a poor season, I think. Not the only reason, of course, but it's crazy that I haven't trusted him more with it. If I choose not to double up on the Blades defence this week, then I do have Charlie Taylor on the bench waiting in the wings. Charlie Taylor is away from home and offers less attacking threat than Ender Stevens though, so it's likely I'll leave him as first sub for this week. The other option would be to upgrade Ender Stevens to the likes of Ben Mendy at Man City, who I do fancy for a clean sheet at home to Newcastle. But whether it's worth taking a -4 hit for a defender is another question, especially with Mendy being a rotation risk longer term. So that's how my side could look for game week 34. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed to FPL TV. I'll be back very soon with another video this week, so until then, FPL responsibly and I'll see you all for game week 35.